down next step in our workflow, and that is what we call handover. We now need to hand this project over to the next people in the chain, the next people who are going to do their bit on this film. And that, in this case, is going to be audio, grade, and VFX. There's a little bit of rotoscoping and cleanup work maybe is going to be done. There's a proper audio person's going to take a look at this and do a kind of full-blown mix. And then we've also got the colorist who's going to go on and make this look a lot better than it currently looks. And then we're going to take it back. So here is what we're going to do. First, we're going to look at handing a project over to another Resolve user. Let's, for argument's sake, say that we're handing over to someone working in Fairlight, to someone working in Fusion, which is the VFX one, and then someone who's going to work in the color panel to perform the grade. Let's take a look at how we shift a project from one workstation to the next. Remember, Resolve doesn't save project files in the same way as other software. It's all hidden away in that internal database. So we are going to have to export this project into an external file which we can then hand over. And here is what we're going to do. We are going to export an archive of this project. For argument's sake, we're going to say that all of these files here are good enough to go to VFX and grade. So we're just going to make an archive and hand it over. So first, let's actually talk about what an archive is. You've already imported an archive file, a .darchive file, yeah? A DaVinci Resolve archive is the project file, and also every single item used in that edit saved into the same folder. When you restore DaVinci Resolve archive, it will open up the project and place it in your project manager window in here, and it will then automatically relink all of the assets used, so you can then just pick up the edit from where it went and then just keep going. Basically, you can pick up the edit from where the last person left off, or in this case, the next 3 people further on down the chain are going to pick up our edit and finish the job with VFX, grade, and audio. So in order to export an archive, I need to click the house in the bottom right down here. This opens up my project manager window. And what I also want to do is I want to right click on here. This is the project I currently have open. Anything with a tick on it anything with an orange tick on it is currently open. I want to right click and I need to choose Export Project Archive. It will ask you if you want to save first. The answer is always yes. And then it's going to ask you where you want to output it. So this is where I've been keeping everything for the course that I'm currently teaching. I'm just going to make a new one here. So in this case, I'm just going to say demo archive export. There we go. And then it will make a new folder. So this is the one that you've got here, Jim Candy Demo Project for Students. That's the one I've supplied you with. I'm then going to just make this. It will create the folder by itself and then populate it for us. We just hit save. And then it will ask us, what do we want to include in the archive? I'm not going to include render cache or optimized media because that will make the file much, much bigger. And the truth is, if we've been using optimized media, the VFX guy and the colorist, they're not going to need that because they're going to have much bigger workstations. Colorists and VFX people have seriously powerful workstations. Okay, so we don't need to include our render cache or our optimized media for this one. And then I'm going to hit OK. And Resolve is going to take a few minutes to copy all of the media files, and that counts for audio as well as video, into the new location, into a folder. And what we can do is that we can actually just zip that folder and export it. So I'm going to cut ahead to where Resolve is finished exporting its archive, and I will see you in a second. Okay, that's now done. So I'm going to take a look at my files, and I want to go to Workspace F, Jim Candy for Learners. You can see everything I've set out here now. So here's my demo archive export. This contains everything. There's the project and also all of the media files as well in a way that Resolve can understand. All I need to do is export this as a .rar, a zip file. So I right click. I'm going to choose send to compressed zip folder. And this can take a few minutes depending on the machine you've got, and you might hear my machine spinning up in the background, as I'm sure you've heard it before, because I'm on a laptop now and it's quite difficult to separate it out from the condenser mic I use. Anyway, this is going to do its thing. And here it's done. I can now put this on a drive. In fact, if I'm putting it on a drive, I don't need to compress it first and then post it. Or alternatively, now I can use something like WeTransfer, FileMonkey, or MyAirBridge to send this archive to the next person in the project, and then they can unzip it, import it in the exact same way you did, and then carry on from there. So this is how we hand a project over to another Resolve user. In the next few lectures, we're going to look at handover to other bits of software, and then we're going to look at title, credits, and final export. So click on through to the next lecture,